We're back. We are live.
Nick and I are back.
Hope
Back
you
from
missed.
Reno.
I feel like I just saw you.
You did.
I did.
And when I saw you at the airport, and thank you for picking me up after my flight was late, I felt like I just saw you then too. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like just before Reno, I saw you again. Like you were
I
here.
did. That's amazing.
This has to be a world record for most days.
Sightings. It's a world record for sightings.
Sighting.
It was a nice trip. Reno. Nick and I went to Reno last week to Ball Nationals.
That's right.
We had a lot of
talk
fun.
about that.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about some new ball launches a little bit later.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
And we got some people tuning in already. I see Lorenzo tuned in. Lorenzo's team kicked my team's ass last night. We did not bowl well. They knocked us out of the playoffs, man. It was a bad night.
You should have bowled better.
I didn't bowl good. If you're a good bowler, why didn't you bowl good?
Yeah. You know, normally when people get back from bowling nationals, they bowl really, really good on their house shot because it's very easy compared.
They were hooking a lot. Not for me. They were hooking a lot for me last night. So I didn't have fun. I think I'm going to take the summer and practice this summer.
You going to take the summer off?
And practice. No, the summer off. My league bowls and starts again in 4 weeks.
You should
3 weeks.
You should probably take that
2
time
weeks
not
off
to
and
bowl.
quit.
No, not quit. Don't quit. You need to stay active. You got to get your steps up on your pedometer there. Mister, I brag about 3,700 steps.
Let me tell you what. Last week, I happened to look this up.
Christopher Reeves took more steps later in life.
Oh, my God. That was bad, by the way. Last week, during the Reno trip, I walked 13 miles.
Total? Like for how long?
During the trip.
During what trip?
Okay, let's see. It started on Wednesday.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't June 14th. When did I go?
That was June 14th. That was Wednesday.
Okay, so Wednesday.
Yeah.
I only took 3,000 steps.
Okay.
Thursday, 6,000 steps.
Watch out.
Friday.
Oh, because you bowled on Thursday.
No, I don't keep the phone in my pocket.
Yeah, right. You probably were doing
2 shots every frame would be more steps than that.
You were probably putting it. You put it in your pocket for the clout.
5,700 steps on Friday.
Yeah, we bowled.
6,200 steps on Saturday. 6,300 Saturday.
Yeah.
Sunday, I was supposed to be home. We'll talk about that later. 6,400 steps on Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah.
So talk about how you got out to Reno. It's kind of an adventure for you. You called me at like 9 a.m. my time, which is early for you.
Yeah, because I got up
concerned for your well-being.
I got up at 6:30. My flight was at 9. I get out of the shower. I check my phone, and I got a text message from American that your flight's delayed to 9:20 something or other.
No big deal.
Well, it's still 20 minutes late, but I only had like a 45-minute connection. I'm still not worried. And then I'm getting ready to leave, and I get another text. It's delayed to 9:40. Now I'm in trouble because 40-minute there, my connection, I can't make it. So I call the gold desk at American.
Gold desk?
Yeah, I'm a member, lifetime gold.
Wow.
Yeah, so and they say all of our agents are busy. In order to not have you waste your time, this is the best part. Just press this button and we'll call you back.
Yeah, it's simple. You can go on and do whatever you want.
Yes, I press the button, I get ready, and no call. So then I just go to the airport. At that point, I'm gonna have to go to the airport.
Gold
so I
is
drive
what
to
it
the
used to
airport.
be.
Yeah, it's not. I drive to the airport. I tell the guy at the desk I'm not gonna make my flight in connection out of Phoenix to Reno. And he says, well, we can get you on the flight out of here, your regular flight, and you'd have a 6-hour layover in Phoenix. I said, nah, I ain't doing that. And then he says, well, we can let you leave here and have like another connection was like 5 or 6 hours in Reno. I said, no. He said, "Or you can leave here 7 o'clock tonight, and
probably catch that same flight."
It's exactly what was going to happen. I catch the same flight. That's better. So I went home, and caught the 7 o'clock flight, which gets me in at 10:30. And Nick was kind enough to pick me up at the airport, and I really appreciate that.
I just got in at 9 p.m.
I know
my flights went perfect, by the way. There was no issues on my end whatsoever. My flights were early going home too.
Not me. Well, that's a different story about me. But
you're Eddie Mush, so
I'm telling you. And then going home, I have a 4:30 flight out of Reno, and I get there on time, plenty of time, and the guy says when they landed, the oxygen mask fell down. Now, I've been on planes before where you hit the tarmac pretty hard and the mask will pop out.
Yeah.
I used to work for the airlines. I know what happens. It just pops out. So he said, mechanic has to come on and sign the papers and put it back. An hour and some odd minutes later, we're still in Phoenix.
Yeah.
My connection is done. It's done at this point. I can't make the connection. I'm sorry. An hour and some odd later, we're still in Reno. I can't make that connection in Phoenix to come home. So I look at my phone, and the flight I'm catching to San Antonio is late. So I'm going to make it. I'll be all right. I'll be all right, right? So we get on the flight, and the flight's going, and it's picked up a little time. So I got a good chance now, right? And I'm not fleet of foot, so I'm still going to have to hustle to get there.
No.
Yeah. So they make an announcement. This is the best part of my day. They make an announcement that if you don't have a connection in Phoenix, please let the passengers get off the plane that do.
Yeah, sure. As a courtesy.
That's courtesy. I'm in the back of the plane. We land. Seatbelt sign goes off. No one moves. This is fantastic. I go up the aisle, and I am 5 rows from the front of the plane, and a guy gets out of the aisle to help his mother, who's sitting in the middle seat, out, and she can't walk.
Yeah. It's kind of what do you do there?
Yeah, what am I doing? Sit down, you old lady. Right?
Yeah.
So now I got to wait. Right now, the guy, she shuffles to the front of the plane and gets out, and now they're manipulating a wheelchair to get her in it. So this is incredible. The guy behind me says to me, "I hope that's not going to cost you your flight." And I said, "I'm betting you right now it will." Anyway, I get out and I hustle to the flight, and it's one terminal away. I got the walk of ladies, and I'm on there and picking up time and getting it. And as I get to the gate, I see the gate agent coming out from the jetway and locking the door.
Game
over.
So
I missed it by about a minute.
So what did you do? You had to stay there?
I went back and kicked that lady in the head.
Oh, no, you did not.
So I go back. Now I have to stay in Phoenix for the night.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So
I mean, worst case. I mean, it's not the worst place you could have a overnighter.
No, but it was 8 o'clock. It was almost 8:30. By the time I got to the hotel, it was 9. I grabbed a sandwich at the lobby and went upstairs and put wicked tuna on or something and watched TV for a little while.
Yeah, because you texted me
on Monday.
You said, you're like, "Hey, I'm still in Phoenix." I was like, "Well, you should try to get to San Antonio. It's probably better for you."
Yeah. Then I go to the airport in Phoenix, and my flight's an hour late leaving Phoenix. But I was coming home, so I didn't care.
That was direct, though.
That was nonstop.
Way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, it pissed me off. So it was not a good trip. The highlight of my trip was I made money in brackets.
Wow. That's not the highlight of your trip.
Well, it is somewhat.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Tell them what the highlight of my trip was.
No, I'm not going to say it.
What, did I beat you in singles?
You beat me in singles.
I did. Handily.
Handily. What'd you shoot?
50 pins more than you.
Your only 200 game of the whole tournament.
And then followed that with 190, and that was plenty.
Yeah, 190 was big on doubles and singles.
It really was. I was complaining about the guy on my pair throwing urethane. Then I realized it was me.
That was me.
It was me.
Yeah, the 4 on a pair. Like, I like bowling fast and all, but it went quick.
Yeah,
really fast.
Did you notice my cross?
Yeah, so they're not doing nothing.
Well, no, with the first shot, the girl throws the ball.
Oh yeah, that was funny. Her thumb come out on all the way down the gutter.
No, the ball went down on my lane as I'm standing on the approach.
Yeah, what did you think? That was an omen? You bowled good.
No, I didn't. That was doubles. I bowled bad in doubles.
Oh, so what? You're on the same.
And then
pair.
it took them how long to change the score and get the thumb slug out of the gutter.
Yeah.
And then 2 frames later, the other girl on the pair bowls on the wrong lane.
Yeah. Well,
It was off to a bad start. Oh, you want me to be sympathetic, right? You want me?
Yeah, they're probably first timers. Both of them are probably first timers.
And this is how you're going to find out on my pair?
I mean, hey,
whatever.
It helps. Hard to find last minute. At least.
No, you're right. Yeah, we lost. We had a bowler not show up, and unfortunately, he was on Nick's team. So I had that for a while.
Hey, I was optimistic at first. I said, "Look, if we all shoot 750 in team, we will still cash."
Still cash, and then by the third frame,
I looked at my guys in the third frame. I said, "Well, let's just have fun."
Well, you both good in team. You shot 630 or something, or 640,
620 something. Yeah.
Like you made money.
It's between team and doubles and singles. That was like a cakewalk. Like you could attack that pattern out. You can attack it in.
Yeah,
the guys that really bowled good on my pair played them inside the track a little bit of swing, not much.
Right. In team.
In team. Yeah, I tried to play urethane in the gutter, and it was fine. I had one bad frame.
I bowled okay in team. I can't complain about that. But doubles was brutal.
Yeah, Eddie Mush over here was the crossover king of Reno.
I threw a couple of Brooklyns in doubles. I didn't throw many in singles though. Doubles was unbelievable. I tried to play them in. You couldn't play them in.
Yeah, it looks like your knee still bothers you a little bit when you bowl.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
and then having 68,000 steps in a day didn't help either.
It looks like it hurts. That's the nicest way I'm gonna put your style.
Oh, you caught me. You realize what it was? That was the last day of everything.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know if you were gonna strike or fall over. That's where.
Yeah, it was that bad at times.
There was a fine line.
I took another drug dose between singles and doubles, and it was a little better in singles. So.
Yeah.
It was more tired than hurt. My knee.
Was it?
It didn't hurt as much as it was tired.
I mean, you went to bed every night at like 10 o'clock. I mean, you figured
my knee
didn't rest.
I didn't. My knee did. My knee didn't go to bed. I did. So anyway, what was your highlight of your Reno trip?
Besides leaving
or getting beat by me?
Going to Tahoe was my highlight.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, right?
Yeah. So, my tradition is anytime I fly anywhere, nice.
Right.
I mean, is that a Perrier from Spaceballs? You're going to take a big
it's
Fresca. This episode of Perception versus Reality brought to you by Fresca. Drink
it's cool.
Fresca.
It's cool.
Quench your thirst.
Refreshing.
Fresca.
A citrus, sparkling citrus drink. Fresca.
Yeah. So anyway, my tradition is whenever I fly somewhere that has an In-N-Out burger, that's my first stop right off the plane.
Right.
So we headed there, and then you text me. Perfect timing. So
yeah,
we had time. We actually had time between picking you up to go check in at the Reno Suites, which is the old Harrah's East Tower.
Right.
Nice place. The rooms are pretty much exactly how I remember them, and there's no resort fee. Yeah,
the resort fee will kill you.
Oh,
because it wasn't really a resort. Any of it in Reno. There's nothing right now in Reno.
Is there even a swimming pool at either of those properties?
I think so, because I did see a sign that said pool when I was in the elevator. That little thing that said pool.
Yeah, that's cesspool.
Maybe. Telling you, there's nothing in there that says resort fee. Resort.
Oh, boy.
But we did have fun with all the guys. The New York guys were there. We had big dinners.
Yep.
And we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did eat well. That was the nice thing I thought about Reno was there was still a lot of good places to eat. You had to kind of go out and find them.
Yeah.
We ate one night without you. What was it? Friday night, right? Yeah, Friday night.
Friday.
So Friday night, because Thursday night we went to Ruth Chris.
And then
Friday
Sunday,
night,
Saturday went to La Strada.
Yeah, and then I had to
Right.
hit the road right after that. But
Yep.
the Wild River Grill right on the Truckee River, fantastic food.
How far
yeah,
is that from the El Dorado?
It's just like 2 blocks south, just walking.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, it's just it's not bad. But also,
I would have gone, but I was over my step limit for the day. I didn't want to have to.
And we finally figured it out why the flights were so expensive to Reno for just those week or two, is because they had that festival going on, that they shut down Virginia Street for. They're shutting it down for a week, and the rodeo was in town.
The rodeo was in town, and we were there.
And it had nothing to do with it. And graduation for either high school or UNR was going on.
Oh, I didn't know that. So
there was a trifecta of stuff going on just in that time frame.
Yeah, we changed our week.
Yeah, someone said it must have been a pool hall, not a pool at the.
It's a pool hall. It was.
I still like cesspool. But yeah, bowling was great. You know.
Yeah, we had fun. It was good. We had a good time. We always have a good time with that group. You know, it was just.
What bowling balls
they're
do you use?
Well, they're tricky, but I enjoy that because it's a challenge. You got to figure them out, and then you got to make good shots. So, first part is figuring them out, and second time is making good shot. I used my Intel, what a shock, SE in team, and it was okay.
What a shock.
It was operator error when it was bad. It was my fault. It had nothing to do with playing them. I knew how to play them. It was okay. In singles, I played them wrong. I tried the sneak attack.
What do you mean singles?
Doubles. I tried the sneak attack. I tried the Intel SE. And I even tried the double cross. But I played them wrong. I played them in.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have done that. I should have went right out to the gutter, figuring if I'm going to shoot 150, I might as well do it off the gutter.
Yeah.
And then once I moved off the gutter, I went 20190, so it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I tried starting out there on the gutter with purple again because typically the gutter always plays no matter what.
Right.
And I probably could have made it work, but there was no hook on the edge, on the tip, on the.
See, I didn't have that. My ball ricocheted off the one board.
You throw it 4 miles an hour. No, but I threw it in the gutter in practice.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah. I threw it in the gutter once, but it wasn't in practice.
Yeah, so I just moved in and played in the track with everybody else and just try to kind of roll it flatter off my hand.
Yeah.
But they broke down pretty quick, even with 4 people on the pair.
I know it.
Just wasn't that sharp, So
right.
Someone asked a question: what bowling balls from your arsenal or nationals would you have changed, if any? I don't know that I would have really changed much. It came down to just execution. I hit the pocket plenty, but I just didn't strike. I left a lot of 7 pins. I don't know why. I even took a re-rack on the
angle
Saturday.
The angle.
The racks were not good on 69 and 70. So
yeah.
I don't think I would have changed anything. I mean, they were just brutally tough. It was just a flat, short pattern on doubles and singles.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, I made the right ball adjustments when I saw what I saw, got back to the pocket, and then, you have to keep chasing it. That's the thing. Like, people got way far left, and that's what you had to do, but I just couldn't get the ball back through the pins correct. So I didn't strike a lot.
I would have just brought less balls.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. The Dark Web Hybrid is probably the ball I use the most besides the Purple Hammer.
Right.
And, so smoother, stronger symmetricals that are kind of slower worked out pretty good for me. When I was moving in and hooking it more, I tried to go to Black Widow, but it was a little early because it was skidding a little too far. So when I switched to Archetype, I actually was able to loop the lane a little bit and slow it down. But yeah, it's just like it was very touchy when you're crossing, opening angles up. It's if you set it short or you didn't project it, the ball was going to cross over or go through the face. I went cross over through the face more times than I like to remember. Yeah, it was brutal. I did not have a very good time on doubles and
I
singles.
felt you had to play them out though in doubles and singles, only because of the pattern being so short.
Yeah, I mean, we started there, but you had nobody on your side
Yeah, some
breaking them
idiot on
down.
my pair was throwing urethane on the left.
I know. I'm looking at
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, there was only one lefty on the pair, and it was me, and that's where urethane. But I'll tell you what's interesting. The way they oil them, and you walked out and you did something that I didn't even think of doing because I was so,
Enamored by the lights and music.
yeah, you know what? I was so intimidated by the lights and the music. Um, how short do you think that pattern was?
It was just past, like it was maybe 6 inches past the first tracers down there. So
How far?
I don't know.
That?
I think those tracers are what, like 40 and maybe 45, right? Each of
You
them, or
think it
no?
was that far down? But that's
I
what it
don't.
was buffed to.
I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat can tell me how far the tracers are on the Brunswick lanes. I don't know for sure.
I
I
thought
think
it was
they're
like
40.
36 feet. The
Yeah,
oil.
it was a short pattern. I don't think it was 40, but
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was
No.
definitely flatter. That's for sure.
So that was a good point. Let's use that as a suggestion going forward. When you
Mhm.
bowl nationals and you walk out, take a look. You can see where the oil line ends
In Reno,
in Reno.
because not every place lets you.
No, they
Are
don't let
gonna,
you walk out. But you're in Reno ever again, or when you are again. That was a good
yeah. So
point. Nick did it. I didn't realize it. I would have looked at. You got to try to get a reference point on the length of the lane and where that oil is. You can have a good starting point, figuring out where to at least start the
yeah. So
play.
that pattern was probably about 40 foot long.
Yeah.
Trevor says the tracers start at 37 and end at 40, and then
Well, you
he
said it
said,
was right before the tracer, so it's probably 36 feet. The
no, no,
oil.
no. It was right after the first set of
Oh, the
tracers.
first set of tracers. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha,
it,
gotcha.
it was on the shorter side. So,
Yeah, yeah. So,
but yeah,
right.
just enough to ruin your day. How about that?
You see, that's the difference. I went there knowing it was challenging. I had to try to figure him out. It's
Oh,
like a
here we go.
puzzle.
Jeff Hartsfield says it's 34 feet to 37, so it's probably a 37 to 38 foot
Yeah,
pattern.
right.
And then the second set of tracers are 40 to 43. There we go.
So you said it was 37 feet,
I'm thinking it's going to be about 38.
38 feet. That's short. So
It's on the shorter side, sure.
yeah, yeah.
Had they brought the pattern back maybe like a foot or two, probably 2 feet, then I think
Thought it would
everything
have
would have
really
been
played.
better outside.
Yeah, yeah.
It would have slowed down just a little bit earlier. That's the
Right.
thing. Like, I don't want to get soft with it and try to slow hook it. I think maybe that might have worked in the track is playing Purple Hammer, but I never tried it. I don't like to play. I don't try to play that hook with Purple Hammer. It's
Yeah.
not my favorite.
Well, that's what makes that interesting. You got to use your not favorite, or else, everybody
Well,
be whacking them.
I'm going to go for a higher percentage of strike, and
But they told me there were no 800s and no 300s in singles and doubles. And last year there were 12 or 13.
they wanted to make
300s.
them harder. I mean, they were. I
Well,
mean,
they did.
I shot 600 in doubles and singles last year. So,
Right.
I mean,
Right.
big difference.
And you're sharper this year than you were last year.
Yeah, they were just easier last year in doubles and singles. That's it.
Right. Right.
Way easier. So, but yeah.
So
I
anybody
mean,
else have any questions?
No, we got 100 people listening to us jam around about what we do different and all that.
No, might help some people that are going.
People like, yeah, they're gonna cancel their trips now.
Yeah. My one suggestion is bring less balls.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not, the balls ain't I'll tell you what, the balls didn't make a difference. It was where you played them and how well you threw it.
Sure. I was perfectly
Yeah.
comfortable on team.
Yeah.
Like I was in my A game. I was playing out by the gutter. I was fine.
I missed the 6-10 twice. Hooked past it both times.
That'll happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I was pretty solid on spares, but I paid for the really bad shots, and
right. Yeah.
That's how it is. I just didn't put together many doubles, so there's your score. When you max out at 180, 190 every game, when you're looking at the 8th frame, like, well,
exactly. I hope I triple for 180.
Yeah, I'm in the 7th. I'm like, I got 2 teen max. I'm like, I know where this is going.
Yeah, exactly. It says ugly written all over it.
Yeah, it's 2 teen max, but let's see. Let's fill in 19 pins, 18 pins a frame, and that's what my score is going to end up to be. But
right. Anyway,
brackets weren't that brutal, even with my scores being what they were.
Right.
So I grinded. I didn't give up, but
No, I was the same way. My goal was to beat Nick in singles after I saw him folding like a lawn chair.
hmm
So I just seized the opportunity so that this show would not be as miserable as it could have been.
yeah. I'm just happy for you. That's all I got to say.
Well, I'm glad. I'm
I'm
happy for you
happy.
too.
I'm
I'm
happy
happy.
for you that your absolute best is better than my absolute worst.
It wasn't my absolute best. It was just enough to win.
Uh,
That's all it had to be.
you were harnessing your 1985 Long Island.
I had to bank it off the gutter as hard as I could most times in order to stay. You know what? And it's amazing. I'll tell you, people, seriously, if you're in a pattern like that, go play your A game, even if the pattern won't let you at some point, because you're still going to shoot 150. You might as well do it with your best game.
There you go.
And that's not
Sound
bad advice. Then you can at least grind out something and maybe catch a miracle double and shoot 190 or 2-0. So if you find that you're totally lost, don't try to do something you've never done before.
Now you might as well. I say
Yeah.
go for it.
You say go for it. Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, overall, obviously a very expensive trip because flights were expensive.
Absolutely.
Hotel actually was pretty reasonable because I didn't stay on the tri properties or whatever you want to call them. The
You were
row.
half a block away. What was it, right? And you saved a couple $100.
Oh yeah, like the Reno Suites was like $260 for 3 nights, Wednesday night,
nights.
Thursday night, Friday. Yeah, 3 nights. Yeah, 3 nights, 260.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what your resort fees probably cost on their own.
No, but I think if you stayed on the row, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, 4 nights was 800.
Yeah.
825.
I even looked at the Sands, and the Sands was up to 500 with everything. It's like, get out of
Crazy.
town.
Yeah.
It's like this is the same place that I used to stay for $19.99 during the week and $39.99 on the weekend.
For the weekends, I know it.
Are you kidding me? I mean, it looks nice. They redesigned everything. It didn't even look the same.
The Sands, really?
Yeah. They redid everything. Just like they remodeled the bowling stadium. On the inside, they gave it a fresh coat of paint.
They did. Yeah, and they took the stands out, right?
Yeah, I was expecting a big crowd to watch me bowl, but I had to turn them all away. All of our podcast fans were going to show up and cheer us on, but
yeah, they didn't. None of them showed up.
Yeah, we found.
I had a couple of people ask about the podcast when I was out there.
I did. Same here.
Yeah,
YouTube channel too.
Yeah, they asked if Nick was going to still be around after last week, and I said, "Well, yeah, another week or two."
What does that mean?
I don't know. That's what he asked me.
So. That's funny. You know what? You know how many people asked me about you?
I bet nobody.
Nobody.
Yeah, that's it. So, anyway,
yeah.
Let's move.
Are we ready to make our segue?
I think so. We don't have any more questions or comments that we need to address, do we? That you can tell.
Yeah, let's maybe go through a few questions and then we'll segue into some new
because
ball
somebody's
launches.
having some really serious things to talk about rather than the stuff we're blabbering about.
Ian wants to know: did they allow blind scores for doubles? No.
No, they did. My score was blind. That's how I bowled. I was blind.
Yeah, my scores. People would have thought I was blind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I didn't miss my mark because I didn't see it.
I actually, I didn't hit what I was looking at. I looked at what I hit.
You hit many marks.
That's what I said. I didn't hit what I was looking at. I looked at what I hit.
Oh, so Jeff wants to know, how was the doubles with Phil at 2 p.m. Bowler's Journal?
Double. I didn't bowl with Nick. Nick didn't show up.
I told you.
But I bowled with Victor. Hey, I bowled with Victor. Jeff knows Victor, and we cashed. So,
yeah, while he was over there,
mm-hmm.
I was on Lake Tahoe having a nice lunch.
Oh, I didn't.
With much better company.
Hang on, let me get out of this before it changes on me. Hold on.
What are you doing?
There we go. I got to go get out of the Wi-Fi.
Okay. I was adamant that I wasn't going to bowl with Phil. I told him that, and I told him that when I got there. I'm like, hey, we're going to Tahoe, so good luck.
Yeah, and I did. I had good luck. We cashed in the doubles. So it was not bad for me.
It's good for you.
It was good for me. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. Yeah, we answered those questions. Tony says, Phil, you're up to 4 miles per hour now?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Brian wants to know a question about the new sneak attack. I've heard you both name comparisons of the sneak attack to the Intel. Is this ball close at all to counterattack solid? A little stronger.
It is stronger. Matter of fact, mine's being shipped back. When it gets here, I'm going to go play with the surface a little bit. So,
You
although
yeah.
it looked okay out there at times, and had I have had a little more practice on that, I might have been able to tweak that surface a little. Or I never tried it out by the gutter. I don't know if that would have been better for me or not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I was happy to control the back end.
Rob wants to know, since Phil won, who eats the gumball? Well, he didn't bet because he would never make a bet heads up like that. He would want at least 100 pins.
That's what I was thinking. 100.
Did you beat me all events? Probably not.
I did not beat you in all events. I did not.
You looked that up, I'm sure.
No, I didn't have to. I knew you beat me because you bowled really good the first day.
Yeah. Insurmountable lead. That's what it was.
You had about 100 on me the first day, maybe 90.
Yeah. I mean, imagine if I would have put together a good second game there.
Yeah, we both would have been happy with that, right?
Yeah, we would have been donating to charity.
Right, exactly.
And down there, I would have probably ordered a topper on my steak.
How about Bobby's picture costume?
I'm glad he was there in that thing because we only had 4 people for team.
I know
so I had him stand in for our team and take the picture.
I left a picture in my car.
Oh, I have the picture. I can bring it up on my phone and then bring
it up. I got it too.
But yeah,
I don't have the team picture. I have this one. Let's see if that helps.
Yeah, so I didn't know who I was bowling with besides my friend Danny from Southern California. So I didn't know who I was bowling with until we actually got into the squad room.
Yeah.
And then to find out, when Bobby comes up to me and says, "Hey, I got to talk to you. We got an issue that, your 5th is not here." I was like, "Oh, okay." So he's like, "Yeah, so you're going to bowl a 4." I was like, "Great."
Yeah, perfect,
wonderful.
Right? Yeah, terrible. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, no, it's fine.
But he stood in for the picture with you.
He did.
I left the picture in the car. I should have brought it in. Then you guys could have saw the whole team picture. But he had a sumo costume on. I think he could probably end up in the Macy's Day Parade with that.
Yeah. Goodness. But yeah, the picture came out great. A big old sumo guy in the middle of our shot. So
it's perfect.
I think we've talked about Reno quite enough, but we have to talk about one more thing about Reno.
What about it?
And that is the top 5 things
to do in Reno.
So as you all know, all our people that are tuning in week to week, we're doing a segue now between our topics, and we're going to do a top 5 every time. So this one's fresh in our mind, so we wanted to do a top 5 things to do in Reno as we segue into new ball launches. Are you ready?
I am. Are you ready?
If you're in the chat right now and you have your own favorite things to do in Reno, funny or serious, please drop them in the comments. So without any further ado, Rob Johnson says number 1 must be leave. That would have been rude, but we definitely thought about that being number 1.
Yeah, matter of fact, we had that in there. We just crossed it off.
Yeah, we crossed it off. We're like, nah. All right, number 5.
Number 5.
It's kind of like leaving. Visit Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, that's serious. That was serious. Something you'd recommend to someone if they're going to Reno. If you have any free time, go up to see Tahoe. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Even the airport of Reno says it's the gateway to Tahoe. So it's like, hey, you have to use this to get there. So you might as well fly to Reno.
Might as well use it. Right, exactly.
Yeah. Here we go. Number 4 of the top 5 things to do in Reno. Practice walking fast while avoiding broken glass and eye contact. There's no way around it.
Sprint.
It's a little rough. Before it was kind of stuck within downtown, like the 1 block by the bus station, but it's spread out a little bit. They all got their own favorite areas there. So walk fast. Don't walk alone. Stay with a group. All right. Number 3. Top 5 things to do in Reno. Matching tattoos, Phil?
I'm not sure we did that, Nick. Don't tell anybody.
Maybe yes. Yeah.
Don't
We both
tell
got
anybody. You said you weren't going to bring that up.
we got radical art tattoos matching.
We did.
Yeah.
Matching radical R tattoos.
Yeah, just above, just next to our navels. I mean, did you know that
You talked me into that one.
Is the divorce capital of the nation? Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it goes back to like olden times where the county, I think Washoe County maybe, or just the state of Nevada had very lax divorce laws.
Really?
So people went there to untie the knot.
Oh, I do remember hearing that about Reno.
And then they go to the bridge that goes over Truckee River, on Virginia Street, and throw their rings into the river. That's the folklore.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Fun fact.
Well, okay.
All right, number 2.
Somebody else off the bridge into the river, but they didn't do that.
You don't have that kind of strength. Number 2 of the top 5 things to do in Reno.
Yeah.
And I actually got this idea from a non-bowler who just was working in town or around town. Anyway, go see the giant golf ball on top of the bowling stadium. Has anybody ever noticed, like, hey, that's not a bowling ball? It looks like a golf ball?
It's amazing how they could not have gotten it to look any worse for a bowling ball. They would have had to go out of their way to say, this is the worst possible thing I could put up there to imitate a bowling ball.
Sure.
But maybe that's not it. Maybe we don't understand the meaning behind it.
Maybe it's just art.
Yeah, well, whoever art is,
he's fired from that design team.
Fired. Yep. And the number one thing to do.
Hold on. And when you go look at that giant golf ball on top of the stadium, make sure you go inside.
Yeah.
And visit Bobby in the booth.
That should be the number one thing to do when you're in Reno is go see Bobby at the booth and ask him how his Wi-Fi connection is. Not
great. That's how it is. At least we got to take the tour of his booth and every little nook and cranny he was in.
We did. That booth is quite busy. A lot of people in there.
A lot of people. So, All right. Number one thing to do in Reno. I forgot what it was. Let's find out.
All right.
Practice your spare
game.
There's no way around it. You're just going to go there and enjoy the time and practice spares because you're going to leave a bunch.
The thing you should do is try to have a contest with yourself and see how far you can get into the set before you don't have the clean 30 anymore.
How far?
Yeah, I got to the 4th frame. I went double spare.
I don't remember how I started.
Yeah, I went double spare open.
I don't remember. So
yeah.
One frame, man, it's gone.
That's it.
Let's just get it out of the way now.
The quickest. Let's not even drag it on. So let's talk about some new ball launches.
We're gonna.
I think that's why most people have tuned in today.
How should we set this up? Let's do it like that. Like that?
All right.
Or do you want to be off screen for it? Let's go off screen.
Whatever you want.
No, it's fine.
Killing me. You're killing me.
So we got new launches that we announced last week.
Right.
From the brands of Hammer, Columbia, and Ebonite. So we're going to talk about all those one at a time, starting with Hammer.
Yep.
I'm going to go to one of my favorites, Dark Web Hybrid.
HK22 Hybrid.
Aggression Hybrid cover stock. RG is the same core, modified spheroid core. 251048. Got that flip block. We're seeing a lot more flip blocks now.
I figured out that's pretty good.
This ball was like
dot technology, right? Dot.
Yes. So pin from the bottom, so you can drill it anywhere. You can drill right next to the dot and not have to worry about durability or anything like that.
Right.
But yeah, this video is up on the Hammer Facebook and YouTube, and mine actually drops tonight. And I've never seen a ball that was so good at doing one thing and kind of struggling doing the others. Like normally I can tweak and, trick it to get it to work from multiple angles, but
Right.
this ball was so dominant from out playing straighter, and I struggled with it playing in,
Yeah.
which, so I actually brought this ball to Reno with me because I thought that in team, this is going to be the ball I use when they start to break down. And sure enough, when I went to this ball in team the last game, 236 last game,
Yep.
it was unbeatable. I couldn't miss.
Yeah, you should have went to it sooner.
I should have. Well, that's the thing. Like I was comfortable playing playing purple, but then I saw all our guys on the pattern. Like we had a couple of good senior players that were playing in the track and just whacking them. I'm like, you know what?
Mhm.
I'm gonna get in on that. So I
Yeah, but
made
you're
the
not
move.
you're not a senior.
I still made it work. So there. Yeah. So the finish is 500, 1,000, 2,000 on it. Colors
Yep.
are phenomenal, and like I said, all these balls come out July 13th.
So that's 2.51048.
Yep.
But the lighter weight balls, because it goes down to I think 12 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
2.59040.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, the core goes to generic in 12 and 13 pounds on the lighter weight.
Yeah.
But they always maintain the dynamic integrity as much as possible. So they're going to use a shape that gives you the most differential.
Yep.
And that's where you're
And
going
it
to see the
sort of
most.
help you out matching it up to the heavier weighted ones, right?
Yeah. They're going to get as close to it as possible.
And it's an upper mid.
Yes.
Performance. It's probably in the same category as the Black Widows.
Yes. In the same category.
Price point and performance category.
Yeah, between like 1-2 punch between Dark Web and Black Widow 2.0 would be a fantastic 1-2 punch. You start with this one, wait till they break down, and then you break out the Widow, and then you can move in and bank off of it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, exactly.
So, very, very usable ball, especially when they're tough. Next one, this one's getting all the attention right now, I think, just because of color, but also performance. This ball actually is extremely gifted, and I think we lost Phil here for a second, so I'll talk about Radioactive Vibe.
Oh.
There you go. He's back.
I'm back. I don't know what happened. It does that every once in a while here.
I don't know.
Maybe who's not here yet? I'm really upset with that.
Can't help you with your technology. Sorry. We got a show to do.
I'm not here that the garbage truck's not here yet either.
Oh, he'll show up. Don't worry about it. I haven't seen
Dustin. Always here.
I haven't seen Dustin Moore, my buddy.
Not today, for some reason. No, I saw him last night. Right. And Hank's not here.
I haven't seen Hank either. We're talking about new products. We're not talking about radical products. So he's not going to ask you about what's selling or if it's
yeah,
one
exactly.
of those. But this is bringing Hyperkinetic 22 into the Vibe line, and it's a solid. So Radioactive Vibe with the CT Reactive Max cover stock finished at 500, 1,000, 1,500 compounds. So it's a little bit on the shinier side.
Need sunglasses. That thing. Look at that. Wow.
Yeah, it's a bright one. And I did this video last night. It dropped last night. This ball is gifted. This ball is one of those balls where you're like, okay, mid-range ball, should be pretty smooth. It is one of the more angular, strong bowling balls I've thrown. It's, I didn't get that kind of reaction until I scuffed the Ocean Vibe, which is a pearl.
Right.
But this one right out of the box was just like off the spot, left turn, go.
And it's a big value, which you get HK22 at that price point.
Yeah, mid-range. Not that many mid-rangers come with.
No.
Come with the HK22. So
yeah, and this goes down to 10 pounds, right?
Sure does.
Yeah,
sure does.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's the two. Yeah, that's the two hammer balls. Same core, same Vibe core that they always use. 251 042.
Right, and then the 12 through 12 and 13 is 2.6 040.
Yep.
And then the lightweight's 2.7. So you the lightweight, lightweight.
Yeah, when you go into 10, 11 pounds, you're not going to have a real usable core in there, but you still have the same cover stock. You still get all the HK22 performance.
It's unbelievable that Hammer went into that. I'm sure it'll happen in other brands now going forward where the HK gets spread around.
Yeah, I'm hoping we see some more balls with HK22 solid. There haven't been a lot of them. We talked about that, I believe, on the last show, why there wasn't, a lot of HK22 solids. It's mostly been pearls and hybrids. And I think looks like we lost Phil again, so I'll just keep going and move on to the next ball, which we'll get into is a Columbia Atlas. New core design and using the Formula One cover. Formula One was on the Speed series, so the original Speed was a hybrid. This is a solid Formula One. New core design, RG's 252054, intermediate of 018. So this is getting into more medium RGs, and we're starting to see that kind of across the board for a lot of the higher end releases. We saw it with the Archetype. We saw it with you back up. No, we lost Phil completely. So we're starting to see a little bit more medium RG bowling balls on the high end, just to get that ball down the lane a little easier and save a little bit more for the back end. There'll still be some bowling balls that have super low RGs, like 247, 248s. And those are going to be the balls that typically roll a little sooner and are smoother overall. But Formula One cover is finished 500, 2000, pretty dull. Good looking ball, purple and blue. This is going to be kind of a replacement for that Speed. Since the Speed has gone away, this is going to be a nice replacement with some new technology built in with the core design. So moving on, and this one is a very fan favorite. I know we got some bowlers in the chat here that have been around bowling for a long time. They remember the Cuda from the 90s. The Cuda Pearl brings Hyperkinetic 22 to the mix. It's been about a year since the original Cuda came out with great reviews. Now we're coming out with the Cuda Pearl, and I got to tell you, this is one of the best bowling balls color-wise I've seen. The color depth, just the look of it, fantastic. Core design's the same, RG 2.50 047. So this is going to be one of those mid-range skid flip balls for more medium oil. This is going to be like a house shot killer. If you scuff the ball, you could probably use it on a little heavier, but or if your ball speed's really high, you typically don't want to use a whole lot of shiny balls because you'll never get into them until the lanes really break down. But when Phil gets back, we'll talk a little bit about how maybe this ball, got him back here, how this ball will maybe compare pretty nicely to the Crypto Boom, because it's kind of got the same kind of numbers and differentials where they're close. So skid flip ball, we're starting to see a lot more HK22 pearls in the mix, a lot more back end reaction with symmetrical balls.
And it's a nice looking ball.
That's what I said. Yeah, one of the best looking balls I've ever seen in person.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So, like that ball that's in the picture, the art, the rendering, that's a picture of an actual ball. So we take product photos and then, we digitize them to look, neat for the catalogs. But, that swirlization is an actual ball. That's kind of a fun fact there.
The HK is really cool because it's a clearer resin. So the colors get more vibrant and you get truer colors.
And you need less color pigment.
Yeah, exactly. Less pigment to get the colors right.
Yeah. Not dyes, right?
Right. It dies.
Yep. And the last one from Ebonite. This is brand new core design, brand new cover in the Emerge skid flip cover stock with HK22. This is the optimized pearl. New core design. Once again, you're seeing that more medium RG 251 053 and a very significant intermediate of 021.
Yeah, that's a strong intermediate diff on that ball. I guess it's ideal for medium to heavy lanes, heavy oil.
Yeah, when you need to start opening up the lanes a little bit.
Right.
Or, if you want to dull this ball, because it comes out of the box, 500, 1000, 1500 compound. So it's on the shinier side. It's made for,
Right.
For back end performance, back end flip.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always had success with dulling pearl balls because they're inherently more responsive for me, and using them when we bowl on heavier patterns, So like, take for instance, like a Black Widow 2.0 hybrid comes out of the box the same way, pretty shiny, with a compound.
Yeah, exactly.
Dulling it down, you can get it to grip the lane and still have its back end flip. You just bring dull, you just bring that reaction a little closer to you, and you can keep your speed up and make it more controllable. So that's our overview on the new balls that are coming out July 13th from the 5 brands there. So any questions, throw them in the chat and we'll be glad to answer them all for you. And we did see a couple of questions come through, so I'll go ahead and talk about them. Let's see. Jeff wants to know, he's like, Nick, I've been debating bringing the Dark Web Hybrid to Reno next week or the Cobalt Kinetic. You say Dark Web Hybrid. Yeah, Jeff, I mean, I've seen you throw a few shots in your videos. I mean, they're going to be close. I think the Cobalt might be a little more skid flippy. I would say if you're looking for that more control ball, the Dark Web Hybrid is going to be a better choice.
I would stay away from flippy down there.
Yeah, you don't really need flippy. I mean,
no, you don't need flippy.
It was, tough. I mean, I just couldn't get that Black Widow 2.0 hybrid to shape up right. I really had to get the speed and launch just perfect. And I'm only good at doing one thing really well at a time. So that's why I can't sink a putt either. I either get the speed right or the direction right, but not both ever.
Can't do them both.
No, nice. Can't do it. Yeah. All right. Don says ball cleaner sales will skyrocket when that Vibe is released. Hammer will actually have a new cleaner we're debuting at Bowl Expo here,
which is next week, by the way.
Next week is Bowl Expo, so very cool, very different ball cleaner, and you'll see what it's all about soon enough.
So, and I'll be at the booth, and I'll also be at the demo. So if you guys are there, make sure you come by and say hello.
Yeah, make sure you ask where Nick is.
Yeah, and I'll be the guy with the pink carnation in my ear in case you don't recognize me.
Wow. Are you going to wear one?
No. Yeah, ask where Nick is.
Yeah. Like, hey, is Nick here?
Yeah.
Like,
no. Yeah, he'll be right back.
Hey, Phil, how you doing? Yeah, he's in the back.
He's in the back. He'll be right back. He's just stepped out.
Greg says we need to have a Bigfoot with HK22 solid.
Yeah, I don't know. We're fiddling with some other cores with similar numbers. I don't know. We got a lot on our plate right now. We got some really good stuff. I tested a ball yesterday, actually set through it, and very impressive. Down lane motion was the biggest we've had in a while.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really that much off the spot. So we got that one going, and we tested a couple of balls 2 weeks earlier. So we're full right now.
Yeah. So you're testing balls now. Those are going to be balls that come out when January,
December,
March?
January.
Yeah. So over 6 months from now, you're testing balls.
Yeah. Yeah, they're done. We already signed off on it this morning.
Perfect.
Just waiting for a name.
Okay, good. So you can't spill the beans on a live
broadcast. I can't screw up on this one on a live broadcast like I've done in the past. The best one was last week, Snack Attack.
We're gonna have to make a snack attack now.
Have a snack attack.
Or we're gonna have to get into like the yogurt business.
Yeah, exactly right.
Just put your cartoon image on there with then it's snack attack yogurt.
Snack attack, yeah, something like that, right?
One flavor, bitter.
I'm bitter. I'm a bitter man. I don't want this Wi-Fi to disconnect again. I don't know what happened last time. How would the crypto boom look at nationals? I go on a little. I'll tell you what, the boom booms.
Yeah,
I'm not sure that's a good idea.
It might be a little uncontrollable. You might get away with it in team, like when they start to break down just a little bit. You might be able to go to that ball if you're slower ball speed. I don't know how you throw it, David. Sorry, but you know some of the senior guys use some shiny stuff and they just played a little inside out of the track and just kind of slow roll it.
The Intel SE was shiny. I use that, but it doesn't have a diff like this one does. So I think the problem is controlling the back end. You might take it and just fiddle with scuffing it a little.
Good.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends where you're comfortable playing, but I didn't see a lot of shiny pearls go down the lane at any point. Yeah. So choose accordingly. That's all. Don, I'll let you read that one. I know you hate bags, but I'm gonna ask the question anyway. Phil,
There might be. I just don't know anything about it. I stay out of that business. Actually, there are some new bags. I just don't know which brands have all the new designs. You know, I know we have a new backpack. I heard about that yesterday. Radical backpack.
yeah, it
So,
looks nice. There's a bunch of people
nice.
posting pictures of it.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm not a backpack kind of guy.
Oh,
So,
that's too bad.
yeah,
What do you?
yeah.
I mean, how do you carry? What do you bring through the airport?
My briefcase.
You have a briefcase?
I do. A regular briefcase.
What year do you live in? Does it have like the two little swatches on the side with the little numbers?
No, like a James Bond briefcase. No, I don't have that.
No,
No,
with
I
the
have
little gold clasp. You have
a
to
leather
roll your thumb on.
briefcase with a strap. It's around my shoulder, and I put my stuff in there.
You have a satchel.
I don't know.
All right, we got to get to the bottom of this because you say it's a briefcase. I think it's a satchel, probably.
What do you call that?
That's a computer bag.
Well, it's not a computer bag. It has different compartments for stuff.
All right, let's put it to the vote. What do you guys call this bag that he's currently holding? He calls it a briefcase. When I think
it is a computer bag. I don't know. It probably is. I bought it at TJ Maxx or something.
That's a
computer.
That's a briefcase for your snack attack. Yeah, what's the combination on your luggage, Phil? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a computer bag. See, everybody's saying computer bag, messenger bag, computer bag.
Computer bag. That's fine. A computer bag.
You say briefcase, like I think combination lock on the edges, hard case.
Okay. I stand corrected. It's my computer bag.
Thank you.
All right.
I love my backpack. It's a computer backpack.
Yeah, whatever.
It's great. And I got out of carrying or rolling bags for carry-on. Like I got out of that because they target those first if you ever have to like self-check or gate check or whatever, you know. So I always carry my duffel bag. I'm a duffel man. Duffel bag. So yeah, you and your computer bag. So
that's it. I have a computer bag.
Yeah, so we got a couple more minutes before we kind of wrap up. So if there's any other things, I think we're all caught up. But yeah, I mean, Anthony has another question about you bought an Incognito last year in Vegas. Would it be worth anything in
small
Reno
intermediate diff? Bobby said, and I didn't do it, but Bobby said that the for team, a lot of guys were going to the outer limits when they broke down, which has a similar intermediate diff as the Incognito, so that might work.
Yeah, I think that's a solid though. So it'd probably be better for the fresh. You know, if he's going to try to break down a pattern.
Right.
Yeah, it might be good to start with. You know, in doubles and singles, it's worth a shot. I mean, it's not a cakewalk. Doubles and singles, you're going to have to try to find it. You know, you'd only get 6 minutes of practice, so you're going to have to make some good decisions early on, and hopefully not get in too much trouble early where you have to dig out. So
that's it.
Pick a ball that helps you get to the pocket, and then just make your spares. You know, that's pretty much it. That's all I can tell you. That's how to attack the pattern in doubles. So, how about a Pandemonium solid? Yeah, Dustin actually threw that ball in team to start.
He did.
Looked pretty good.
Yeah.
So his lane shined a little bit. Looks like so.
Yeah,
real smooth, real slow. You can generally have more of those in your bag, the bowling balls that are a little slower to respond than you would balls that are quicker to respond because you're going to get more use out of them.
You don't want violence down lane.
You don't want violence anywhere. You want violence out on the streets.
On the streets of Reno.
Yeah, on 2nd Street, you know, in Virginia mostly. Let's see. Vance wants to know what balls do you recommend for someone who's a two-hander with a 13.5 inches of track circumference? We need to know your PAP. I mean, I know Mo was all about the track circumference and the tilt and all that stuff, but we need to know your PAP there, bud. All right. So, yeah, just put in the comments. We might be able to get back an answer, but I think we'll go ahead and wrap up our show. Nice, quick, and clean today.
Yeah. I'm sorry I got disconnected. I don't know why it does that from time to time. I have a low internet connection. When I plug it in, when I do the connect,
have you tried paying your bill?
I don't know why.
Have you
it
tried
does that.
turning off your computer and turning it back on again?
Oh, like the typical answer from the IT. Did you reboot?
Yeah, 5.5
Come on,
over by.
Vance.
Okay, so Vance says 5.5
Stab you
over
in
by
the eye.
1.5 down. I mean, there's still a lot of information we need. I mean, that's over and down. Most two-handers are going to be over and down or over and up. Most of them are up. But depending on your rev rate and your ball speed, I mean, you can use a lot of different things. But I think a lot of our two-handers typically use pins that are 4 to 5.5 inches and typically way above the fingers where the center of grip is. So the sweet spot seems to be around 3.5 to 4.5 inches above the center of grip for positioning wise. So whatever that comes for your dual angles, there's actually a cool dual angle converter on the Troublemaker website that you can use and kind of convert all that into dual angles. So, oh man, someone's got the burn of the year. What's
I saw that.
Phil's MIPS or rev rate? Now, do you know what MIPS are?
It's miles per hour, isn't it?
No. That's your megabyte per second. That's your speed, your internet speed.
I gotcha. All right, well, whatever.
I'm gonna have to go on as bad as its interconnection is at times. His rev rate's still lower.
Mm-hmm.
I could actually count his revs going down the lane on one hand.
You guys are having a good time with this, aren't you?
We're having a great time.
Good.
So 19 miles per hour, 540 RPMs. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to use somewhere around 5-inch layouts. As you go closer to like maybe 2 inches above, 1 inch above, but you're lower on your PAP. So I probably wouldn't use anything lower than probably 2.5 inches above your fingers. So that's my suggestion. Otherwise, you might hit the fingers and flare all the way around the ball, which you probably already do anyway. So, all right. I think we'll wrap up. Great show.
Yeah.
We talked about Reno. We talked about
what are we going to do about next week? Let's talk real quick about that and give some.
Yeah, so Bowl Expo is next week. It's in Orlando.
Right.
Phil will be there. I will not. I will be in the office. He will be in the show. So the show is going on Wednesday, Thursday, right? Is that how it works still?
Yeah, it's Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, so you'll be there during basically when we're wanting to go live. So I figured we might test it the day before just to see if his connection
Tuesday,
on his phone.
I'll be at the demo on Tuesday.
Oh, you'll be somewhere totally different. So yeah, we will likely have a week off just because Phil's going to be in Bowl Expo. And even though I carried the whole show when it came to it today, when you lost your connection and deserted me in my time of need.
So maybe we can. I don't know if you want to try it from Bowl Expo Live.
How about I just replace you?
You can try to do that. It's been tried before by many people. All have failed, but that's okay.
It's because I've never tried.
Again, many have tried.
That's fine. I mean,
so I don't know if you want to try to do it. I don't know.
We'll see. Maybe I'll find a great co-host that can fill in and sub. That's been kind of like my theme lately is having to find a replacement last minute. So,
what a sissy boy you are. But anyway,
we'll look into all options as far as maybe we'll get someone on the show. I know that without you, we might have such a poor turnout that we never try to do it again.
Okay.
But on the flip side, if we get someone new and the ratings go up, then you might be out.
Well, then I'll just collect my royalties for Radical Rundown or Radical whatever.
What percentage you want?
Perception. I don't know. I have to think about it.
What percentage? 20%? Is that fair?
20% of nothing is nothing.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was my next, that's where I was going. What's 20% of zero?
Nice. We'll figure it out. We'll put something up on the Facebook page. Thank you all for tuning in. Thanks again, Nick. And
you're welcome.
You guys have a great week. We'll see you.
I've seen all I can see of Phil for the month of June. My quota has been met.
That's it.
Look for more Radical Rundowns every week on Mondays.
Yeah, we have a lot of them.
We filmed a whole new season, so we'll have those going out, as well as clips from all these podcasts that we've been segmenting and putting up as their own videos. So,
yep.
All right. You guys enjoy the rest of your days.
Take care.
See ya.